Good afternoon and welcome back to Teresa's Kitchen. Today I will be making baked salmon along with baked cauliflower macaroni and cheese. And here are the ingredients that I will be using today in order to create this wonderful recipe. I have a whole half a salmon fillet. On that salmon fillet, I will be putting red onions and a variation of peppers, which are red, yellow, and orange peppers. And also I have a variation of my seasonings. To my seasonings, I added 2 tablespoons of complete seasoning, a half a tablespoon of the Old Bay seasoning, a whole tablespoon of your garlic salt, and a tablespoon of black pepper. So what I like to do is basically put them all in one container and just mix it, blend it all together. And that way I will basically rub the ingredients into the meat that I'm basically seasoning. So that's what I'm gonna do. Stir it up so that way all the ingredients are well combined. Okay, so next things next. As you can see, it came already packaged, but I'm going to take it out of the package and I'm going to clean it. Just remember, as I told you the other day, when it comes to any type of meat, you need to make sure that you clean your meats. On the other side, there's also skin on, and sometimes you got to make sure that everybody's not going to do the right job. Make sure that they're cleaning the whole fish, because sometimes they come back scaly. So you're going to simply get a knife and you're just going to simply just scrape across the back of the fish where the skin is on to make sure that there are no remaining scales on the fish. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands so I can go ahead and clean the fish. Remember, we're going to wash it off in cold water, flip it over on the back side where the skin is up, and just go ahead and scale it to make sure that there are no more scales on the fish before. So another helpful tip when it comes to making sure that your fish is good, do a little smell check. Make sure that it doesn't have that old fishy, rotten smell, because I picked up fish in the past and it wasn't good. And you can always return it back to the store. So once you've done that test, again, here's the fillet right here. I'm just going to simply run some cold water over it on both sides. First, I'm washing down the flesh side of it, and then I'm going to flip it over and begin to scale the back side where all the scales are on, because sometimes they don't do a perfect job on scaling the fish. So I'm going to bring my cutting board over here, and I'm going to lay it flat down, the fish, flesh up, and then I'm going to take the knife itself and I'm just going to run the knife across the back where the skin is on the fish. Hope you guys can see. So here I have the fish. You can even hear the scales. So let me go ahead and try to show you all while I wash my hands. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you clean the fish. You just take the knife and you scrape it. And of course, the scales are going to be coming up off the fish. You see that? You don't want to be cooking that. So that's why it's important to clean your fish, any fish for that matter, before you actually cook it, because you don't want to have a mouthful of scales. And of course, I'm just rinsing it down the sink as I scrape. You want to do the whole fish like that. You take the back of the front of your knife where the blade is, and you begin to just scale it completely. Look at all this. You go for the very top of the fish where the fin is supposed to be at, where it was cut off, and you just scale and keep scaling. until all the scales are gone. Wow, this fish has a lot of scales. I just hope you guys are not out there just buying the fish and thinking it's clean. Do you see all that? And you end up cooking it because you're taking it directly out the package, assuming that it's clean, and it's not clean. Yeah, you have to get into the whole fish. I wonder how many of you knew that this was happening when you bought your fish. So you just go back over it again. You can actually rinse it, because that will help get some of those scales off, and just simply go back over it again. And you can actually take your hand and just rub it going down, and you can actually see the shininess, the discoloration of it, the discoloration. That's from where the scales have come off, but still I got scales right here on the fish. So I have to go back to the drawing board and finish cleaning the fish. So, as I continue to clean the fish, I'll be right back and let you see the ending results. Starting with the back side of the fish first, I'm gonna pour on my little seasoning that I've already blended together. And again, don't be scared of the fish, because you're the one that's going to be eating this fish. So go ahead and massage the fish. That way it can have all the ingredients going through it. Massage it from top to bottom to the sides. Go ahead and flip it over now, because you seasoned the skin side. If you don't like doing what I did earlier as far as having to scale the fish, you can have the butcher or the person behind the counter just to go ahead and take the skin off. But the reason why the skin is on is so that the fish won't dry out while it's baking. So it's a purpose for everything. But if you don't want to go through what I went through earlier, then just simply have a butcher to take the skin off. And you just have to watch it when it's cooking in the oven. So I seasoned the fish really well. I didn't put any salt today. Why I didn't put any salt today is because one of our seasons says garlic salt. So I don't think we need any more salt. Once it says garlic salt, it's already going to be full of flavor already. So I'm going to also add the onions that I chopped up earlier to it. You can just pour them all over. And it's going to be really yummy. Let's see. So again, like I said, I chopped up some onions. I'm going to go all over. I chopped up some red, yellow, and orange bell peppers to go on top of the fish. Voila. So you can take a stick of butter, and you can at least use like 3/4 of the stick of butter. Just make sure you have plenty of butter so that the fish, when it's cooking, it's gonna have that buttery flavor. It's a big piece of fish, so if you choose to use more butter, your choice. But at this moment, as I'm eyeballing it, I may or may not use the whole stick. But it depends on your liking. So I'm simply putting plenty of butter on it. Also have your oven preheated at 350. Let it cook for 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes. And you're gonna be having like a party going on in the oven because you have all these different herbs and spices going on, and it's just really gonna have your house smelling really yummy. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just use it because I have vegetables sitting on the side. They can have a little flavor too. All right, so basically I used a whole stick of butter, and that's because I have a whole huge fillet of salmon. Also, you can squeeze fresh lemon on it. What's the sense of having seafood and you can't put no fresh lemon on it? So squeeze your lemon up in it. Actually, you know what? I learned a trick. You know how hard it is to squeeze a lemon or a lime? You just get a fork and you just fork it out. And you get so much more juice coming out of that fruit. So you just fork it over. So once you're done seasoning your fish, this is what it should look like. The toppings on it, just like a pizza. Make sure you have everything on it. And then you place it in the oven on 375, 350, 375 for 30 minutes. So here is the baked salmon out of the oven with the peppers and onions.